have a hat because I also have a hat right here because I wasn't.
Oh,
well, I think you look a little better than me, but maybe the hat.
But you know what? I'm not going to take your thunder. I think you should be the only one.
Okay, you're kind. Appreciate it.
that's a good looking hat, I have to admit.
But the last rodeo, and what a rodeo because besides having the sentimental story about a father that's conflicted but loving, complicated, there is some action, not a different kind of action at a rodeo. I mean, riding a bull.
Yeah, it was, I loved being part of this film. To write this and to build this with my wife, Ruve, uh, to have my great friends, Michael T. Williamson and Christopher McDonald jump on board, but really to build this script with my writing partner, Derek Presley, and hand it off to Jon Avnet and to make it his own. I'm the luckiest dude I know to have the ability to talk about a film that Jon Avnet directed and made come to life. And boy, this is a pretty special film because of the hard work that we all put into it, but in particular, what Jon did, taking an $8.5 million film, making it look like a $50 million big budget feature film is just, yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm so blessed.
Thank you, Neil. It was challenging and it was exciting, and I like mixing the action of the bull riding, which is very, something I went, okay, how are we going to do this? With a story that had real heart, and all of it came from Neil. From Neil as a person, from Neil as an actor, from Neil as a producer, from Neil as a writer. He was so there to do the story, and an area that I liked to explore was the father-daughter stuff. And Sarah Jones, who I've also worked with a long time, was just she had such good ideas, and
Oh, she was so good.
I felt that stuff really paid off, as you went along that ride, because fathers have a hard time with their daughters. They're often awkward and can't express themselves as well and make mistakes. And
The fathers, you mean?
fathers.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. And so I thought that was a powerful thing. And I had always wanted to do an action film that had an emotional core to it. So you were rooting for the action on the most superficial level, but underneath you knew the stakes were really high. And I thought that Neil, who I've worked with again so much, had an opportunity to be a leading man. He had all the qualities of a Clint Eastwood, a John Wayne, a Jimmy Stewart. He could say so much without saying anything. And he was so present and he was so reactive. And he made the other actors be as good or better than they were just by being there. And I thought if I could do my job well, I knew Neil and the actors would, other people would see him like a leading man and he would really have a whole different set of opportunities. And this movie would be the first of many.
But yes, it had many topics, the father-daughter friendships. But I love how this movie at the end of the day is about encouragement and faith.
Yeah, faith is something that's very important to me. God first, me second, family first, me second. And I wanted to write a character that lost his faith. And
That was a brilliant conceit for Neil because everybody knows he is a person of faith.
one of my favorite moments in the movie is when I was a kid, I grew up in a motel, and this one guy used to stay at the motel every summer and have his Bible with him. And he would say, "Okay, Neil, ask me a question." And he would leaf through the Bible and tell me when to stop. And I say, "Stop." And he would point to it and read. And every time it answered the question that I was asking. So in the film, I wanted to have that same thing. And when Charlie's going through the Bible and I say, "Stop," and gives me the thing, and I say, "You happy now?" It was one of my favorite moments because it shows that he has completely lost his faith, but there's something in there that it might come back, and by the end it does. And it's that journey that I went through my personal life through losing everything and having everything taken away from me at one time in my life, and how hard that was, and how much I made it about my own self-pity. That when I finally came out of it, thanks to John and Graham Yost, who pulled me out of those ashes all those years ago to be unjustified. The, that's the pain and torture that I wanted to bring into Joe Wainwright, and I think we did that really well. But it was John's direction that pulled it out of me. You can be a piece of clay, but someone needs to mold that clay into something. And I had John, really mold me and everyone else in this film. So we made a fantastic film to people to watch because faith is such a big part of it.
And that's where also the take about the friendship. A lot of times we get lost and we kind of isolate ourselves to find some sort of survival mode. But at the end of the day, it connects back to faith.
Yeah, the friendship, particularly between Charlie and Joe, is something that really interested me. And I've done this in a number of films, even in Fried Green Tomatoes. The friendships between the women really interested me, and I thought they were very moving. And it's something that's not explored that much. But I felt, with Neal and with Michael T, they're both so good. They work together. They're just the perfect teammates. And I worked with Michael T writing like the scene in the diner.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was about his world, his pain, what he went through as he tried to be a friend, and he held Joe accountable for it.
And a lot of times when you have, a black and white character, as we have Michael T and myself, generally the black character is always underwritten and kind of supports the white character in most films. That wasn't what we did here. We wanted to make sure that Charlie and Joe were absolutely equal, and they had things to say and things to play with, and the pain and torture they had in their own personal lives, and how they come together in the end. And that's something that I'm just incredibly proud of.
Well, it's also Michael T is always better than you in each scene, you say, right? He steals the scenes.
Oh, it's a thief.
Now, what you don't know is that Neal gives him the scene, but Michael T is so good, and he's very funny in this, right?
Oh, he's hysterical. He's awesome.
And so it loosens you up, and you enjoy it, and you laugh, and then it sort of sucks you deeper into the story. So as you get to the elements about family, about friendship, and faith, they become much more powerful on an emotional level.
There's one thing you said. We had a chance to explore things that most films don't explore. Most films nowadays are either $300 million blow up everything types of films, or smaller independent films that are really dark for dark purposes. And I don't understand why. We got back to filmmaking where the whole family can go, and I implore all of you, go to the theater and see this on a big screen, because if you love bull riding, the action sequences have to be seen on a big screen. But the heart and soul of this film is really about the faith in a family. And if you love those types of films, you want to bring the whole family. If you want to sit down in the theater and have a conversation after about a film, then you got to go support films like The Last Rodeo and everything the Angel Studio is doing, because that's what they're trying to make. And it will tell Hollywood, enough of this stuff. Can we please have some more of this stuff? But that takes the viewers going out there and supporting the film by going to the theater Memorial Day weekend and supporting the film.
Couple thousand theaters, May 23rd, as Neal said. I made this film for the big screen because I felt it would be powerful, and it would do just what Neal said. It'd be, in a way, a cultural experience for the audience, for families, for individuals, and be a communal experience, which you don't have on a phone. You don't have on a TV set. So we're really hopeful. And Angel has done a great job, making films that go in theaters and getting people to see them. So we hope and expect this one will do well in the theater and people will enjoy it and talk about it.
The beauty about Angel Studios, they always have the pay it forward to lift up other people.
Not amazing? It's just amazing what Angel does. So yeah, if you know some people who can't afford tickets to the theater, you can pay it forward. If invite the mailman, the custodian, the parking attendant, whomever it is, buy them tickets if they can't buy their own tickets. But support films like this, because without your support, we can't keep making films for the families. And that's what we did here, and we're so proud of it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, both. I love the film. And Neal, can't wait for Tulsa King to what's the surprise is going to be.
Oh, it's good stuff. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. Can't wait. Thank you both.
Now put your cowboy hat on and say goodbye with your cowboy hat on.
Well,
all right. There
goodbye.
you go.
There we go.
Thank you.